Very good morning and welcome back to another session of Object Oriented Programming class. My name is Himanshu Gupta and in today's session, I'll cover some multiple choice questions on Object Oriented Programming. So let's begin with the first question. The first question is, what is the primary purpose of a class in C++? So basically, what is class? A class is simply the blueprint for creating object. We define a class like this using the keyword class, suppose class test, and it encapsulates variables and methods together into the single unit. So this is class. Inside a class we can declare variables, constructors, destructors, member functions, and class also. Class inside class is known as nested class. So, and we have three access modifiers in the class: private, protected, and public. By default, all members of class are private, right? So if we scroll, if we go through all the options of this question, the correct answer is to define the blueprint of objects, right? So a class in C++ is used to define the blueprint for objects. So this is the correct answer. Now the second question is, what does the keyword public signify in a class definition? So what is the role of keyword public in a class definition? As I have already discussed, in a class we can have three types of members. Like this, we can have private members, we can have protected members, and we can also have public members. So private members are only accessible within class, protected members are accessible within class and subclass or derived class, whereas public class are accessible everywhere using object of the class So what should be the correct answer? The public signify in a class definition, option number 1, the class is accessible only within itself, the members of the class are private, the members of the class are accessible from outside the class is abstract. So the correct answer is, the members of the class are accessible from outside the class. If you declare if you declare the class members as public, they are accessible from outside the class, right? So the correct option is option number C. Now question number 3, which of the following correctly defines a class in C++? I mean, this question is about how we declare a class in C++. What is the correct syntax of declaring a class in C++? So the correct syntax is, we use keyword class followed by class name and then curly braces, and after that this semicolon. This is the correct way of defining a class in C++. So we can check from the options which is the correct one. So option number 1 seems the right one. This is incorrect, because here in that option number 2, class name is given before the keyword class, and in option C, class name is not given. So here we have not used keyword class. So the correct option is option number A, right? Now question number 4, what is a method in a class? A variable in the class, a function that is a member of the class, a class that uses another class, a function that is not part of the class. So the correct answer is option number B. Generally the function that is the member of the class is known as method. So the correct answer is option number B. Now let's come to the fifth question. Which keyword is used to define a method that does not modify the state of the object? So what is the meaning of this statement? We want to make some object as constant, and that method should not be able to modify the class variables, right? So let me show you how this is achieved, how this can be done in C++ using some demonstration. The correct answer is constant, and let me just demonstrate this using a example. So this is our online compiler. Let me just define a class. Suppose class A. Let me define a public member A. Public, use constructor to initialize variable A. This A is equal to A. Now let's declare a function show of type constant. Now since this function is declared as constant, we cannot modify the value of A inside this function. We cannot modify the object inside this constant function. Let me first try to print the value of A. A is equal to A. Now int main, create the object of class A, OB, and let's call the show method. In the object, pass some value, suppose 8. Return 0. So let me just run this, and you can see A is equal to 8. Please note that in the function show we are only printing the value of A, and we are not modifying the value of A. If I try to modify the value of A like this, A is equal to say 20. Since our object is constant, we cannot modify the value of A inside this function, and this should generate some error. Assignment of member A is in read-only object, so this is not permissible. If you want to reassign value of A use like this, you can simply remove the constant keyword, and now it should run fine. You can see now it is running fine. If I use the constant keyword, we cannot modify the member variables of the class like this. So I hope you understood what is the role of constant in C++, right? Now the question number 6. How do you call a method of an object? So generally methods of the object are called using the object of the class, object dot method name, right? But if we are using the pointers, if we have pointer to the object, then we can access the object like this, right? So if we talk about the question number 6, the correct answer is option number A. But let me just demonstrate you in which situation we can use option number C to call the method, right? Let me open the online compiler, our online compiler. Just remove this. This is okay. I'm using the same example, right? I'm using the same example. Just this is one way of calling the object, calling the member functions using object. Now let me create another object that will be basically ob1 or a1 simply is equal to, I will use new keyword to assign values to allocate memory, and let me pass 20 here. Now if I use a1 show, this should work fine. So see, a is equal to 8 and a is equal to 20. So what I am trying to convey to you, if we are using the object directly, we will access its member variables and functions, public variables and functions, using the dot operator, right? But if we are using pointer to the object, then we'll access the members using the arrow operator, our arrow operator. So I hope you now understood. So the correct answer of how do you call a method of an object, if we have object, we will call it using dot, and if we are having pointer to the object, we can use option C. Now the next question is, what is encapsulation in C++? So basically encapsulation means wrapping up of data and methods together into a single unit. It is basically used for hiding the implementation details, right? So out of these given options, the correct answer seems to be option number 1, hiding the implementation details. This is encapsulation. Now let's talk about, okay, so question number 8 is, which of the following is an example of abstraction? So basically abstraction means using the necessary, using the functions without knowing the background details. Like, so abstraction basically focuses on providing a simplified interface like public methods to hide the complexity of the underlying implementation, right? So basically this is not the correct answer option. Creating new class, no. Accessing private members, we cannot access private members directly outside the class. So the correct option is using public methods to interact with the object, right? Basically we are directly calling the public methods, and we are using their functionalities without knowing the background details, without knowing the implementation details. So this is abstraction, this is known as abstraction. Now what is inheritance in C++? Basically inheritance provides us the concept of reusability, right? We want to create a new class by extending the some already existing class, right? We have different types of inheritance in C++, like this is known as simple or simple inheritance, wherein we have only one parent and one child. We can also have multi-level inheritance, in which we have two levels A, B, C, like this. We can have multiple inheritance like this. We can have hierarchical inheritance like this. So there are different types of inheritance possible in C++, though this type of inheritance Java does not support directly. Multiple inheritance is not directly supported by class in Java. So the correct answer is, what is inheritance in C++? Creating new classes based on existing classes, right? So all the other options are incorrect. Now let's come to the next question. How do you specify a derived class in C++? A derived class is created like this. We use class name, and then we use this colon and base class name, base class name. So this is how we perform inheritance in C++. Though we can use keywords like public, private, protected, public and protected. By default, the inheritance is private. So out of the available options, the correct option is option number A. Right. Now let's move to the next question. What is an abstract class? Basically, an abstract class in C++ is the class that cannot be directly instantiated. We cannot create object of the abstract class. We cannot create object of abstract class. Right? A class is declared as abstract class, or a class is abstract class if a class contains at least one pure virtual function. Pure virtual function. A pure virtual function is the function that does not have any implementation. Basically, pure virtual function is used to give the blueprint to the derived class to override it. So out of the available options, the correct option seems to be a class that cannot be instantiated directly, because a class with all virtual functions, this is not always true. A class can contain an abstract class can contain both virtual functions and concrete functions. A class without methods, no. A class with private members only. So the correct answer is option number A. Now the next question is, how do you declare an abstract class in C++? So an abstract class is declared, an abstract class is called abstract when it contains at least one pure virtual function, because in C++ we do not use any keyword like abstract. In Java we use keyword abstract to explicitly declare a class as abstract, right? But in C++ we don't need to explicitly write abstract with the class definition to declare it abstract. If the class contains at least one pure virtual function, the class is abstract class. So by defining a class with at least one pure virtual function, if this condition is satisfied, the class is declared as abstract. What is a pure virtual function? What is a pure virtual function? Basically, a virtual function with no implementation is the pure virtual function. Like if I declare a class, say test, and public function, if I declare a function like this, virtual void show is equal to 0. So this is known as pure virtual function. Pure virtual function. Right? Okay. Now the next question is, what does polymorphism allow in C++, or in other words, what does polymorphism offers in C++? So polymorphism, if I talk about polymorphism, it is of two types. We have compile time polymorphism and we have runtime polymorphism. Under compile time polymorphism, we have function overloading and operator overloading. In runtime polymorphism, we perform function overriding, and this is achieved using virtual functions, and inheritance. Right. So this is polymorphism. Polymorphism means one name and multiple forms. So out of available options, different classes to have methods with the same name. No, multiple classes to be combined into one. A class to inherit from multiple classes. Methods to be defined in multiple classes. So basically, option A can be correct. See, we have two types of polymorphism: function overloading and function overriding. If we have a base class, and in the base class we have show method, and in derived class also we have show method, then this statement is correct. In the derived class we try to override the abstract method of virtual functions of parent class. If in a same class we are using different functions with same name and different arguments, then that is also the case of polymorphism. That is also the example of polymorphism. So out of the available options, the most appropriate answer is the first one. Now let's come to the next question. What is method overriding? So I have already told you, we have already discussed. Method overriding means if in a base class, suppose this is the base class, and I declared a function void show here, and we have a same function with same signature in the derived class, then this derived class function will be overriding this definition, the definition of show method. However, we need to declare this function as virtual if you want to override this. So the correct option is defining a method in a derived class with the same signature as in base class. Right, this is the correct option. This seems to be correct option. Creating method with different parameters in the same class, no, this is not method overriding. Creating method with different parameters in the same class is basically function overloading, right? Calling a base class method from derived class, deleting a method from the base class, no. So the most appropriate answer is the A. Now let's come to the next question. What is the key difference between a class and a structure in C++? Okay, so if I talk about the structures in C and C++, the C language structures can only have the data members, but in C++, structures can have both variables and methods, constructors, destructors, everything they can have, like class. The only difference is the by default the visibility scope of class is private, while the visibility of the structure members are by default public, right? So let's check which option is the correct. A class default to private access while structure defaults to public access. This is correct. Structures can have methods but class cannot. This is incorrect. Both structures and class can have methods. Classes are faster than structures. This is not necessarily true. Structures can have inheritance but class cannot. No, both of them we can have, we can implement inheritance. So the most appropriate answer is the option 1. Now this is how do you define a structure in C++? So a structure in C++ is defined in the same way we declare a class. Like we declare class like this using the keyword class and name, suppose class test. right? So in the same way we declare the structure in C++. We use keyword struct and structure name, suppose test, like this. So the correct syntax seems to be struct my struct, this one. Okay, so the correct answer is option number A. Now the next question is, which of the following is true? Which of the following is true about C++ structures and class? Both can have constructors and destructors. Yes, this is true. Structures cannot have methods. No, this is not correct. Classes cannot have member variables. Classes can have both variables and methods. Structure can have private members only. No, structure can have all type of members. So the correct answer is option number A. Right. Now, what is the purpose of a friend function in C++? So basically, friend function, a friend function is a known member function of the class, is a known member function of the class that can access its private and protected members, right? So we can declare a function as friend of one class. We can also declare a function as friend of multiple classes. I mean, if we have n classes, we can declare a function friend of n number of classes, right? And we can also have a friend class. So let's check which one is the correct option out of the given options. To allow non-member functions to access private members of a class, this is correct. To define methods inside the class, no. To provide access to the base class methods to access public members of a class. So out of the given options, option number 1 is the correct one. Now the next is, how do you declare a friend class? Like I just discussed, we can declare a friend function as well as friend class. So if I declare a class like this, class A, right, we have some code. We have private section, protected section, and there is another class, class B, and I want to make this class B as friend of this class. So I can declare it like this, friend class B. Now what is the benefit of using declaring class B as friend of class A? Now the object of class B can access both private and protected members of the class A. So the correct syntax is friend class and class name, right? This option 1 is the correct one. Yes, rest all the options are incorrect. Now let's discuss what is a friend function. So we have already covered this. A friend, a function declared within the class but not a member, right? A function that can access private and protected members of the class. This is also, correct. A function that is member of the class, no. A function that can be called without creating an object, no. So out of this, a function that can access private and protected members of the class, this seems to be the most appropriate one. And this is also, correct. A function declared within, actually the friend function is declared and defined outside, but we declare a function as friend inside the class. So both A and B seems to be correct. We define the friend function outside the class, and that function is not a member function, right? So both of them seems to be a valid match. Now, okay, now the next question is, what is the benefit of using an inline function? So basically we can declare a function inline like this, inline void show. Basically what is the use of inline function. When we call a function, the function call, you know, the compiler transfers the call to the calling function, right? So it takes some time. If you want to reduce function call overhead by simply expanding the function code at the call side, I mean, suppose I have called the function show here, int main. If I call it here, so if I have declared this function inline, then it requests the compiler that if it found suitable, it can extend its code at the call side. I mean, this function call show will be replaced by the definition of the function, right? So the correct option seems to be option number A. Increases the function execution speed by optimizing it, allows the function to be accessed without creating an object, hiding the functions in implementation from the user. No, the correct option is option number A. And the next question, how do you define an inline function in C++? So I have already, explained. This is how we can declare a function as inline. So the correct option seems to be option number A. Now the next part, next question. What is a static member of a class? Basically, we have different type of static members. If I am talking about class, in a class, we can have two types of static members. We can have static variables and static methods, right? So the main objective of declaring a variable or method as static is uh, they are basically the class members, and all the objects share those members. If I declare some variable as static, then it's only one copy is created, unlike instance variables. If I create three object of you know this class, then only one copy of this static variable is will be created. But if I also include some instance variable like this int a, all the objects will have separate copy of a. So the correct option here, a member that is shared among all the objects of the class. A member that is shared among all the objects of the class. This is correct. A member that can only be accessed within the class. No. A member that is unique to each object of the class. A member that is not allowed in C++. No. So the correct option is option number A. Now the last question is, this is the last question of this video. How do you declare a static member variable in a class? So in a class, if I want to declare a static variable, we can declare it like this: static int a. But if you declare a static, if you declare a static variable inside the class, it is mandatory that you define it outside the class also. So outside the class, you need to define the a like this, using scope resolution operator a, and at this point you can initialize it also like this. So the correct option is the option number A, right? So thank you very much. I hope you have enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed the video, please give a like, share it with your friends, and also subscribe to my channel. This is my channel, ShipTech Tutorials, and I make videos on various topics of computer science. And presently, I am creating videos on C++ and data structure subject. So you can scroll the playlist. You can scroll my playlist, and you will find these videos. Please do subscribe. Thank you very much.